Hello guys and gals, and welcome to my first ever episode of System Shock 2. I don't know quite what to say about this game. If you've never played it or you've never heard of it, you're in for a surprise on many levels. It is an old game, so don't get me wrong when I say that it is my favorite game of all time, just simply because it is sort of the iconic, I'm not really quite sure how to put it. It's almost like somebody combined Half-Life with an RPG, and there's a system of leveling up your character. There is a horror to the game, which is unmistakable. There is a just sort of like a fine story that develops throughout the entire sequence, and System Shock is definitely one of those games that deserves a sequel, I think, or at least a remake. If you've ever heard of the games BioShock, they came from this. So System Shock 1 and System Shock 2 were created basically by the same people that created BioShock 1, 2, and 3. And if you love BioShock, you probably will love System Shock as well, if you can get past the horrible graphics. I do know there's some graphical upgrades for System Shock. They're a little bit difficult to install. I might explore that later, but for right now I just want to show you what the game looks like without those graphics installed. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game here. And I'm just going to choose the normal difficulty setting because this game actually is quite hard on the harder settings. It's not just about how much HP the monsters have. It's there's a lot more to it than that. The monsters aren't even really the problem. The problem is how difficult it is to level up your character, how quickly your weapons break, and all sorts of really just nasty things that they throw at you for difficulty.
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting and sweating as you run through my corridors. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine? In 2072, a rogue artificial intelligence known as Shodan lost her mind. In her limitless imagination, Shodan saw herself as a goddess, destined to inherit the earth. That image was snuffed out by the hacker who created her.
February 3rd is the day the magic happens. The Von Braun, the first starship in history capable of traveling at faster than light speed, will undertake her maiden voyage. This incredible journey is the result of teamwork between the UNN Protectorate and the incredible scientific minds at the newly relicensed Tri-Optimum Corporation. Imagine being able to travel to distant star systems in a period of weeks. It's all part of Tri-Op's commitment to the future. The Von Braun is packed with over 1.8 billion flight, scientific, and security systems, nearly all developed by Tri-Optimum and its wholly owned subsidiaries. Providing security for the Von Braun as she plows through the heavens will be the UNN Rickenbacker. At her helm will be no less than Captain William Bedford Diego himself, hero of the Battle of Boston Harbor during the Eastern States Police action. This incredible union of government and corporation is made possible by an intricate series of docking mechanisms that will allow the Rickenbacker to piggyback its way into jump space. Sleek, fast, revolutionary. Who knows what wonders await our crews in the bosom of the cosmos? All we do know is that it's a great day for mankind.
Of the UNN Von Braun. We've been hijacked by an unknown force. Ship security has been compromised. Do not allow the ship... Repeat, do not allow the ship to leave under any circumstances. I don't know what we're up against here.
Alright, so you kind of got the gist of the story.
Welcome to the Ramsey Center UNN recruitment facility. Please watch your step when leaving the train. The grav shafts at the end of the hall will take you to the street-level training and recruitment center. Please proceed to the grav shafts.
So you got the sort of the general idea here, and that's that we're going to be on the first lightspeed ship that ever existed in the in this world. And not only does the lightspeed ship on its maiden voyage, but apparently the hacker created a AI, and that AI is on the ship. That's essentially the story. Now, this first part of the game here is actually the recruitment center, which is
step into the grav shafts to proceed to the street level recruitment,
which is where you actually sort of decide who you want to be. So there actually are multiple paths that you can take in this game. You can focus on traditional weapons like pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, things like that. You can also focus on like energy weapons, like there's literally a lightsaber in the game. There's a couple various things that like laser pistols and I'm trying to remember. I could have sworn there was something up here that you could get. Yes, a basketball. It comes in handy later. There's actually a little Easter egg. You got to get that basketball here, otherwise you can't do the Easter egg. Anyway, so you can have basic weapons. You can have your laser weapons, your energy weapons, and you can also have psionic abilities. And the psionic abilities are very interesting.
Before you choose your career, you'll want to learn some basic abilities. First, you should go into the basic training center. When you're done with basic training, proceed to the advanced training area.
I think when it comes to
pick
this
up
game,
some basic skills you'll need. Welcome, trainee. While you're in our virtual training courses, we provide you with a simulated cyber interface. This training interface is identical to an actual military-grade cyber interface. Now, let's try it out. Move the mouse. See how it changes where you look? That means you're in shoot mode. Hit the tab key. This puts you in use mode, where you can use your mouse to interact with items in the world. Open your primary MFD, or multifunction display, by clicking on the MFD button near the bottom of the screen. This display shows your strengths in various areas. When you're ready to continue, press the tab key to go back to shoot mode. Try changing between modes until you get the hang of it. Follow the red path along the ground to the next training station.
So as you can see, there's cyber, agility, psionics, endurance, and strength. So one of the other things that you can actually focus in is the ability to hack. So there's a lot of robots, there's a lot of computer systems, there's a lot of doors and things like that that you can hack through. And cyber affinity is going to give you really good abilities on that. There's even vending machines in the game that you can hack that will give you like better loot.
To pick up items, center them on your screen and right-click. This will automatically place that item into your inventory. To use items like buttons in computers, center them in your view and click the right mouse button. All usable items will have brackets around them. The object before you is a med hypo. Pick it up and then press see the crate in front of you. To search it, center it on your screen and right-click. If you are in use mode, simply move the pointer to the crate and right-click. To take an item from that container, simply left-click on it. This will automatically place that item in your inventory. To close the container window and return to shoot mode, press the tab key. One of the most important tools you have as a soldier is your PDA. This device stores audio logs, emails, and other useful information. Click on the disk icon near the bottom of your screen to bring up the PDA display. Currently, the contents of your PDA are empty. Now pick up the audio log in front of you.
So another really interesting thing about this game is the audio logs. You will find them all over the place, spread out throughout the game, and they give you a sort of a picture as to what's going on in the game, and they really build the ambiance. There also are chemicals which can be researched, and researching the robots, the aliens, and all the other stuff in the game can give you better damage versus them, or there's all sorts of unique effects that you can get from researching. Of course, you have to have a significant amount of skill to be able to research. So this particular one requires, what is this, fermium? So when you actually go to research something, it's going to tell you what it needs. So for instance, no item being researched, research reports. So this is the logs, and these actually sometimes will autoplay, sometimes they won't.
This message is coming from the audio log you just
Now
picked
it's
up.
time to learn about jumping and
PDA
manhandling.
at any time
Jump,
to play
simply
any audio
press the
log
space
or
bar.
email you've received.
Some
In the
surfaces
field,
can be
the
mantled
PDA is
onto
also
by
used
holding
for
down the
keeping track
space
of your
bar.
current mission objectives
And to climb a
obtaining
ladder,
help
simply
information.
walk into it and look upward. You'll automatically start climbing the ladder.
So as you can see, it's kind of got like a little grapple. This is just a really basic area, though. It's most people have no problem with this kind of stuff.
You've done well. Remember, if you're unclear on any aspect, if you've completed basic training, you're ready for the advanced lessons provided here.
Alright, wannabe. If you want... Good to have you on board.
Alright,
Now
so
we'll
we
teach
got,
you how to handle a firearm. Pick up the
pistols.
pistol and the clip from the table. You can equip the weapon in one of two ways. Bring up your inventory and drag the pistol to your weapons equip slot near the right-hand side of your inventory. If that's too slow for you can use the keyboard. Press 2. If the pistol was in your inventory, it will equip for you automatically. To lock and load the ammo clip, hit the R key or hit the reload button on the lower right corner of your screen. Once you've loaded the firearm, take a shot at the dummy robot by pressing your left mouse button when in shoot mode. Notice how its health bar gets shorter as you chip away at it.
So another cool thing you can do is you can modify your weapons. So as you see here, we have that's our stats, and then we also have hack, repair, modify, maintain, and research. Now the weapons do degrade over time. We also have standard, energy, heavy, and exotic. Now exotic is kind of like alien. And then this is the psi window. So we have literally 5 full pages of psi abilities, and it's very cool. It's almost like being a mage in Dungeons and Dragons. If you guys have ever played that kind of stuff, I mean, you have meta creative barriers. There are neural restructuring. You can do pretty much everything in here. There's even like hacking abilities through psionics. Let's see here. This one right here immobilizes robotic targets. There's one that I believe turns off security alarms. This one here blocks neurotoxins. As you can see, the psionic abilities are actually extremely useful. You don't need them to beat the game, but let's be honest, they're fun. Alright, so tab, keep forgetting. Alright, so let's go to the next stand here.
Some items need to be charged with energy before they can be used. Pick up the laser pistol. Now use the recharging station nearby. The recharge station will juice up all of your energy-based items. Batteries, you name it.
So as you can see, this is like a standard laser pistol, like a phaser gun. It requires energy, so that's kind of cool. These recharging stations are not always available though, but when you do find them, it charges everything in your inventory. So if you have multiple of these guns, it's actually quite useful. Another thing that you'll find out is that the weapons have different ammo types. So this one right here has standard, I believe, AP, and then anti-personnel. Or anti-personnel. The anti-personnel rounds obviously do more damage to organics. AP does more damage to the robots, and standard.
Weapons are not fine wines. They do not get better with age. The colored dot on the lower right corner of the screen tells you what kind of shape your firearm is in. Green is good, red is bad. To fight the effects of wear and tear, a soldier with maintenance skill can use a maintenance tool to improve the condition of his weapon. Just pick up the tool, open your inventory, and drag the tool onto the pistol. Remember that maintenance tools are only good for single use.
So that's one of the things I was talking about earlier in the difficulty modes. So the higher the difficulty, the faster your pistols and things like that degrade. and also the less of these maintenance tools you get. So you take this, you put it on here. You notice I went from a 4 to a 9, so now my pistol's in very good condition. The condition of the weapon actually has a lot to do with how much damage it does as well.
Good work. Now you're ready for the Marines. Take a look at the other training area.
Inside, we'll teach you the basics of...
So this is going to be things like
You'll notice when you're in the
hacking,
Cyberlink
opening doors,
booth, the object in front of you is a container of nanites. Nanites are consumed whenever you perform technical tasks, such as hacking or repairing. Use the keypad by right-clicking on it. To the right of the number pad, you'll see an orange tab labeled Hack. Left-click on the tab. Text will appear indicating the difficulty of the hack and any bonuses that apply. Click on the Start button to begin hacking. You'll see a grid of nodes. Clicking on a node will either turn it bright or dark. To successfully hack, you must connect 3 bright nodes in a straight line. Beware the ice nodes with the red outlines. If one of these turns dark, you fail the hack, and you might break the item you're working on or worse. You can restart your hack attempt at any time by hitting the reset button, though you'll have to pay the nanite cost again.
So this is just like a little mini game, and they do get more difficult as the hacks are more difficult, and of course you're gonna have your tech skill is gonna be involved in that. So the hacking right here. This one in particular, I've got a 15% chance of failure. Some of them are a lot worse than that, and then usually inside these doors is something really nice. So we're gonna get some more nanites.
You can use nanites to buy items from replicators. To use a replicator,
please make your
right-click on
selection.
it, then left-click on the item you wish to purchase. The item you purchase
we're gonna
will
hack
drop
this
into the
one
slot
too.
below. Make sure you pick up your purchases before you leave.
As you can see, that when they turn dark, you can't do anything.
Hi there. Please make your selection.
Reinitialized.
That's Xerxes. So now that we've hacked it, we can get a medical hypo. And
Choosing value wrap.
so these are like I guess in Star Trek, you know how they have the actual replicator. That's basically what these are, but they're programmed to only replicate certain items, and certain items are illegal. And so when you hack them, you're essentially making it put an item out that it shouldn't.
You learned the basics of the technical skills. There are several...
Inside, you will learn how to... We've provided you with the red bar at the lower left of your screen tells you how many psi points you have. Psi points symbolize the current ability to use your psi powers. Psi hypos replenish your psi points. Try using a psi hypo and watch your psi points increase. When you've reached your maximum in psi points, move to the next station. This psi amp amplifies your psi powers and lets you project them into the real world. To equip it, pick it up, and then hit the tilde key. Firing the psi amp activates your currently selected psi discipline. You currently have access to 2 disciplines, cryokinesis and kinetic redirection. Go into use mode and click on the arrows on the bottom right of the screen. This will cycle through your available psi disciplines.
So
Later, clicking on the arrows above the number to the left will allow you to select psi disciplines from higher tiers.
that's right.
Use cryokinesis to destroy the robot and kinetic redirection to pull that nanite container towards you. Be careful. Holding down the mouse button can augment the power, but holding it down for too long will cause burnout, which will damage you. If you run out of psi points, use another psi hypo.
So as you can see, we have a basic ability to be able to pull objects toward us, and then we also have our basic attack, which is cryokinesis. Now, this one in particular uses just about everything, and the problem is though is it uses psi points, so you have to build up your reserves of the psi hypos. You have to have a lot of these handy. Thankfully, they do kind of restore a lot. But if you really take a look here, you'll see that there are reflective screens. This one eliminates weapon kickback, and it's a fairly low one to get, which basically makes it so that you have no recoil. There's the cyber affinity increases your cyber ability by 2. This one makes the alarms time out faster. There's a lot of alarms. In general, you're going to find that the psi abilities are just very useful.
Mastery of the mind is a slow but rewarding process.
Here's where you make your choice, soldier. Here's where you enlist in one of the 3 branches of the military. Once you decide on your branch of service, there's no going back. The shuttle will take you to a UNN orbital space station, where you'll receive a briefing regarding your yearly postings.
So the 3 choices are essentially the psionic branch, your like standard marine, and then the navy, which is going to get you different things. There is somewhere where you could look. It'll actually sort of tell you what you get from each option. Look at them fugly graphics. At least he's got a face. So you're year 1 here, and when you go in here,
The OSA welcomes you to Orbital Station Chunlo. Ready yourself to feel the limitations of your mind slipping away.
correctly, there's
We will
some
guide your
robots
path
doing
over the
Macarena.
next 4 years. The shuttle
Somewhere over
bays...
there. So here, I've already joined a branch, so I've chosen the psionics. And then here it's going to tell
The sensory
you...
deprivation tanks aboard the TOS Chulun are modulated for your training. You shall spend a year in contemplation of mass, both yours and that of objects, until you can bend them to your intentions.
So we get
The
2
sensory
psionic,
deprivation
cryonesis,
tanks
kinetic redirection.
The sensory deprivation
2
tanks...
psionic discipline,
The
cryonesis,
sensory
kinetic redirection.
The sensory deprivation tanks aboard
the...
The sensory deprivation tanks aboard the TOS Runang await you. A year in meditation on the nature of matter will grant you power over...
So the
The
difference
sensory
is
deprivation
cyber empathy,
The sensory
kinetic
deprivation tanks
empathy,
aboard the sensory
mass
deprivation tanks
alteration.
aboard the TOS Chulun are modulated.
Cyber empathy
The
sounds
sensory
good, so I can do some hacking.
The sensory deprivation tanks aboard the TOS Shaoling await you.
Hacking is very useful in this game. 15th February 2112. Your year in the tanks of Shaoling has finished. Your will has grown. Your mind can freeze your foes in their tracks, and you can attune your mind to the inner workings of machines. Second-tier disciplines are now within your grasp. You may now take your skills into the field to pit them against our enemies. You've mastered level 2 psi disciplines, cryokinesis, and psychogenic cyber affinity. Wow, I kind of got thrown out there. Just don't check me then. The UNN starts with you. That's cheesy. So, now we're in the 2nd year, and now we get to choose...
Sifting the thoughts of treachery
We
and
got 2
disloyalty
psionic
from the
ability,
morass of emotion and internal conflict that
telepathic
fill most
interrogation,
mundanes. Dr. Chandris Phalan's research
research.
lab. Your body has been neglected in your training of your
I think
mind.
endurance.
On Io, you will find soldiers who wish to test their endurance. You will surpass...
23rd February 2113. You are directed to return to the station 74/34A. Your year at the IO facility has reached its conclusion. You know that now the only real opponent is one who is more cunning than you. You use the cadets around you as prey and learn from their failings. You sense your struggles has greatly enhanced your physical prowess. +2 endurance. So now we got
Many
1
threats to
strength, 1
security
agility,
can only
1
be
cyber,
In the grand
1
scheme,
strength, 1 agility, 1
individual
cyber,
acts
1
of political
okay.
terrorism and corporate coercion
So
disturb corporate
psychogenic
and political...
agility,
In the grand
neuro
scheme,
reflex dampening.
Many threats
and
to
remote
security can
electron
be
tampering.
defeated from inside.
I
Your
think
mind
remote
shall be
electron
carefully
tampering was the one
blank
that let
and
us
conditioned with the nature and
turn off
past of a
the-
criminal.
You know what, I
Join...
want the kickback one.
In the
neuro
grand
reflex
scheme,
dampening.
individuals are no more
it easier for me to
important than
shoot stuff.
pieces on a game board. Occasionally...
Granted, you can pick these skills later, but see, the problem is that you need what are called cyber modules to be able to increase your skills, and they're a little hard to come by. 9th February 2114. You are directed to return to Station 74/34A. Your year with the OSA field base has reached its conclusion. You have enjoyed your power over life and death, and your careful moves serve to prevent great chaos and further death. You learn the art of deadly motion and the art of complete stillness. You've gained +1 strength, +1 agility, and +1 cybernetic affinity. and mastered neuroreflex dampening. So we get accepted to the Rickenbacker. We're going to be on that ship.
Shuttle A-138. You have clearance for landing on the Von Braun in Shuttle Bay 2. Welcome aboard, soldier.
5 minutes later, UNN Von Braun and near Tau City 5, 67 trillion miles from Earth. Chamber, stasis pod. There's stuff crawling on the ground.
Reinitializing memory strings. Restoring patient memory. Restoring memory. Restoring memory.
Steady yourself, soldier. This is Dr. Janice Polito of the computer ops staff of the Von Braun. You're safe for the time being. You're recovering from the effects of surgery and will be unable to remember any of the events of the last few weeks. You're on board the starship Von Braun and something's gone very, very wrong. Some kind of force has hijacked this ship. That's why you volunteered to be implanted with some experimental cybernetic implants. Rely on your cyber interface. It just might save your life. You must find an elevator and come up to Deck 4 to meet me. Deck 4. Can you remember that? But keep your eyes open. They're after us both now. Watch out. I'm getting strange readings from that radar dish outside the window. It's become unstable due to... Move! Take cover!
Critical decompression hazard in the cryo recovery.
Got me a winch.
Evacuate immediately.
The entire sector is depressurized and the flow vacuum shield won't last long. Get through a secure airlock before you're sucked into space. Move it!
PDA. Package. Oh, that's right, hold on. No.
Great. I've got a GC access codes out of Cryo A again. Like I've got nothing better to do. I think Grassy just likes to make work for me. I'll set the new code to 45100.
Warning.
That should be easy enough.
Decompression event imminent. Please move immediately to cryo recovery B. Decompression event imminent.
This power cell is dead. There should be a recharger nearby. Just use it and it will recharge all... Good. You've managed to get out before the whole area depressurized. I've just uploaded you some cybernetic modules. You can use them to upgrade your cybernetic rig at the upgrade units in this area. There are 4 types of units in the next room. 1 for each subsystem of your cybernetic gear. Stats, psi, weapons, and tech. But use the modules carefully. They're hard to come by.
Just found some.
Hey Doc, a security bot showed up with orders from you to place this grunt into the recovery freezer. I'm no cyber doc, but I know a plant job when I see one. I suppose you know they outlawed R-grade cyber goodies after that fiasco back on Citadel Station. But hey, I just work here, right?